Hello everyone, my name is Nemanja and I'm international master from Serbia. Today I'm using chesswithknarik.com to record this video. So let's see. In this video, topic is exchange defense. When we check whole position, we can see that this position became from Sicilian Khan or maybe Sicilian Najdorf. When we check pawn structure, you can see that we have two pawn islands, from one pawn island from h6 to e6 and another one from a5 to b4. White has three pawn islands and also exposed pawn in the middle, so this is one pawn island from a2 to c2, another one from g2 and h2, and this exposed pawn in the middle, e5 pawn, it's a third island. Okay, so that pawn is exposed pawn in the middle, and but this pawn grab a lot of space, and usually white will always try to make some contra play around this pawn and to try to penetrate our king side, or sometimes maybe to improve his knight in the middle, to put his knight on e4, and after that he can control just some very important squares, f6 and d6. Let's check a few opportunities here for black. For example, here with the black pieces, if we play something like this, knight c7, we like to improve our knight in the middle, to put our knight on d5. After that, that knight can control a lot of important squares in the middle. Maybe when we improve our knight here, maybe f4, also e3, and our knight is centralized. But what's happened then? If you play something like this, he can just improve his knight in the middle, and as I told you, that knight is very important for them, control some important squares, and he will try maybe to mate us with knight f6, or just to put some more pressure on our king side. Also this knight, they can jump knight f4, maybe knight h5 later, and just to try to put more pressure on our king side. Sometimes, of course, rook f6 is also possible move, maybe rook to f4, and position is very dangerous for black right now, because we put all of our pieces on a queen side of the board, but as you can see, our king side is very weak, and our pawns are not very well on a king side. So as you can see, knight c7 is not perfect approach here. Let's check something else. If we play also something like this, for example, to try to destabilize his pawn chain on a queen side of the board, like sometimes that's possible, of course, but not in this position, because if we play a4, again they can just improve knight here, maybe later improve one more knight to f4, and after that this should be very difficult position for us, because also his light square bishop is very strong piece, put some pressure on a king side, control this along diagonal, and white will enjoy this position there. Okay, if we play something like knight in the middle, knight e4, okay, solid move. We improve our knight, we wanna exchange some pieces, because every single endgame will be slightly better for us, because if we exchange a lot of pieces, then his pawn on e5 is not very strong pawn. Then later we will try to collect that pawn in endgame. So white will always try to play with a lot of pieces, because after that he'll have very big compensation and also slightly better position, because there is a lot of space on his side of the board. After knight here, for example, if they play knight to d4, we can recapture with our rook. Rook takes there. We can play maybe something like this, and later rook e to f2, and then just to try to put some more pressure to f7, and the position is again slightly better for white. Also potential, we can maybe just jump knight c4, maybe knight to d6 if we needed, but when we put our rooks on f-file, it should be very difficult for him to protect the f7 square. And also, if they push that pawn, f6 or f5, we can just collect that pawn with en passant, and the position is winning for white. Okay, so let's go back. Only move here for black is, I will show you right now, is queen to g5. So we wanna exchange our queens, because after that his attack is not very strong. Also after that his pawn in the middle on e5 is very exposed, and we can just very easily attack that pawn. Right now, if they, for example, jump with a knight in the middle, we can simply collect his queen, and after recapture we can collect the pawn on e5 in the middle later with our knight. Also, after queen to g5, right now this is a double attack. We threatens queen and threatens knight on e2. So they have to do something, they have to move knight or to exchange our queens. If they play knight f3, then again we can just exchange queens. And after knight takes, as you can see right now, there is no attack on the king side of the board. We have slightly better pawn structure, and maybe we can also try to exchange our bishops, bishop to a6, and after that these three pawns are not very strong there, because with two pawns we control these three pawns. At the same time, pawn on e5 is a weak in the middle. So they have to take our queen. Okay. Queen takes queen. Sorry. Pawn takes. And again, right now, if they jump in the middle, we can collect this pawn there. Knight takes. Right now, position is simple for us. We can maybe first collect his bishop, and after recapture, we can just normal develop our knight to f6, because they put some pressure on f7 pawn with the knight and with the rook. If they play something else like knight f3 to protect to protect this pawn in the middle, knight here, then we can play g4, knight g5, knight to e5. Again, we can collect that pawn, and the position is slightly better for us. So the only move in this position is queen to g4. Queen to g5, sorry guys. Okay. Just a second. Takes. If they... what is also option here? If they maybe play something like this, then we will just try to maybe to destabilize this knight somehow with bishop to a6, and after that, again, just the point here is just to exchange some pieces, and later we will play against this weak pawn in the middle. Thank you guys.